Day two. I can't tell you enough how much you're impacting all of our lives and how everyone on the call has probably walked away with thousands and thousands of notes. I'm sure if we were to take a count on that, Haley, and ask that question, it would happen. Thanks so much. Today, day two, guys, comes from my personal playbook of growing multiple companies for myself as well as my clients. And so, everybody wants to work smarter, not harder. And I hope that governs your business right now, whether you're in startup phase or you're in a scale and grow phase. Second is I want you to work less, but do more when you have to work. And there are two things that I'm going to promise you as I present today is the things that I'm going to share and hopefully impact your life has come from my personal experience of growing companies, as well as seeing companies go from solopreneur to employees to being sold and acquired. I want to just make sure that promise is clear in your mind, because a lot of you right now hopefully see that you didn't want to start a business because you wanted a job. And I hope that is clear, because a lot of people will leave corporate America and just find themselves right back in a job. And unfortunately, that's no fun if you're not living your purpose and your dream. The second promise is that a lot of these things that I'm going to teach today, you can start today. You can literally start today. You don't need any Herculean effort. You don't need to go buy another planner. I promise you can start today. And I kind of chuckle when I say, buy a planner, because I look at our lives as entrepreneurs and business owners, and it's like, when I get everything together, that's when I'm going to do it. And guess what, guys? Business does not always allow us to get everything together and be perfect at it. So thanks so much for being here. One of the rules I've always followed in my life is to look at the processes and systems and how I get there to improve the things that I want the most. So let's start with the hard conversation. A lot of us walk around with a badge of honor when we can say we're extremely busy. Our calendar is completely full. We are stacked from day to night. And if you find yourself like that right now in your business or in your life, I want to tell you there is a way out. There is a cure for that. Second is a lot of times our busyness, our desire to do it all is because of a worth understanding, a paradigm that we're currently working in that somehow has a story attached to it that identifies our value, identifies that we matter. And I want to give you permission in learning about yourself, if that's what motivates you, if that's what's driving you, because a lot of times that's attached to a trauma or something that happened, or to prove it or to be good enough is usually the undertone of that belief. And I see it manifest in these two ways. It manifests on your calendar. So if you were to look at your calendar this week and you said, Shar, I didn't have a single hour for personal development. I didn't have 30 minutes to stop and eat because I'm extremely busy. I've got a lot of these things happening. I want you to just ask a better question. Why? Why am I driven to be so busy and so overwhelmed? And why is my calendar so booked that I didn't even have time to eat lunch? And I want to make this little ... There are going to be days that are like that, right? Because you got family needs, you've got, obligations, you've got responsibilities. I get it. I understand that. But I want you to look at your calendar this past week and ask your question. Why? Because in finding a better question to ask, you'll find a better solution to your true problem. And that's the reason why you can do more with working less. And so these are a couple of the things that I'm going to pull from my personal journey as an entrepreneur. Definitely something that I coach my clients in as we grow and scale the business and figure out, what really is driving them. So in the internal conversation, a couple of things that I just touched on, I want you to take that back and take that back to your free time. If you have any, of course, as business owners, that's always hard to find, but ask yourself, why? Why am I so busy? Why am I so focused on wearing a badge of honor that I've got so many things to do? Because you've got to see if it's driven by a worth grab, if it's driven by this desire to matter, to create value, And maybe it's something in your life that you didn't realize was driving that, because you will work yourself to death. Physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and even in your business. And you know what I love about this WEN Summit is let's change that. Let's change the health of your business and the health of how you do business so that you really can experience success. All right. So that's the eternal dialogue, guys. That was a heavy lift. I want to invite you to give yourself time to ponder those things and ask those questions. As entrepreneurs, we're very driven. So we're driven by our brain. And so a lot of times we don't allow our feelings to happen because we feel like we're task focused. And I'm going to ask a question in the chat. If you were to look at your schedule today, if you put number 1, that means that you literally are task driven. If you were to look back on your week, or 2, you're emotionally driven. So 1 for task driven, 2 emotionally driven, because that's going to be critical in the things that I'm going to teach you in the next couple of minutes. Okay, Tiff, I love that. You're emotionally driven. Awesome. Okay, that's powerful. But you're going to learn today how to use both simultaneously. Because a lot of creative people, we're here, we feel the world. But guess what, guys? There's no money for gas. There's no money for food. There's no money for the things you want because you're just making these decisions based on, I want to give, but you're not opening yourself up to receive. Okay, I love my number 1s. Love them. I love tasks. They have to get done. I love the fact that we have to, get things accomplished. A lot of us are drivers. We're very driven as entrepreneurs, as business owners. But if I can share with you a couple of things so that you can bring number 1s and number 2s together so that you can get more out of what you do, but work less. All right. Thank you, everyone who's participating in the chat. Appreciate that. Okay. So a couple of things that we want to do in this conversation is engage. So I want to make sure that I hear you and I see you and that I give to you what you need from my presentation. So number 1s, if you are the only person in your business, like you are the one-stop shop, you are the master of everything, I want you to put number 1 in the chat, okay? Number 2s, you have yourself and maybe a VA part-time or some sort of help. Okay, I want those 2s. Number 3, you actually have a team. So if you were to be on a trip in Hawaii and you didn't have to answer your emails, that you had a team to support you. All my 3s, put the 3s in there. Okay, I got some 1s. Okay, awesome. Thank you, Susan. Number 2, I love that. Remember, I'm trying to tailor what I'm presenting to you so I can hear you and see you. Thank you. All right, so my number 1s, you are at a place where life feels like all of a sudden you've got to do sales. All of a sudden you're doing marketing. All of a sudden you're responding to every opportunity. You're here networking. You're doing it all. My number 2s, you feel a little bit of, relief, but you're still having to drive the ship. You're still having to make the decisions because your team that's supporting you needs that direction from you. So here's a couple of things that help both 1s and 2s. And please take what you need because there's true freedom when you can live your life and build your business around some of the true principles that I'm going to teach today. All right. The role that you play dictates your priorities. The role that you play dictates your priorities. I'll give you an example. One of our clients owns a spa. She is franchising her spa pre-COVID. And she came to me and said, Char, I need help. I said, what's going on? You're successful. Look at you. You're doing it all. You've got it all. You've got people who love you, people who are just wanting to do business with you. She said, Char, but I'm miserable. And I'm like, okay, tell me more. She said, I'm so overwhelmed that I'm not spending time with my kids. I'm not spending time with my husband. I said, oh, okay. I said, so what do you think is important? She goes, well, I'm a business owner. I need to be here. I need to tell my staff what to do. I need to, tell my staff what's happening. I need to make the decision. I need to make payroll. Okay. I said, that's great. I understand. I know how the feeling is. It's stressful. It's overwhelming. She said, all I want to do is be a good mom. I want my children to see that I'm there for them. And yet I'm undermining everything I'm doing because this business is taking over my life. And I said, well, let's reframe that. Let's come into a place. When roles are established, you pick the priority of what that role will look like. And so when you're looking at your calendar for next week, not next week, maybe the week after, just because you have so much notes probably from all our great speakers, I want you to look at planning your schedule based on your roles, not based on your tasks and not based on what you feel. So for example, if you look at your Monday schedule, pick the 3 roles that you have. If you're a mom, what does that role require? If you are a wife, what does that role require? If you are a business owner, what does that require? And here's an example of how I helped our client. She said, Char, as a mom, I want to make dinner for my kids 1 night a week, and I want to have time with them. I said, well, let's put it down. She's like, I can't. I'm like, yeah, you can. So her role as a mother, she took Wednesdays as her date night with her children. She would cook them dinner and then take each of them out for ice cream or, just to go get a snack or a treat. The reason why that worked for her as we restructured her activity in her business and her life is that she found out that her son was suicidal and that she didn't even have a clue. And she said, Shar, if I did not stop and look at my calendar and the roles that I had versus what all the tasks I had to do, I would have missed that completely. And I'm not saying this to make you feel like, oh my gosh, that's going to happen. I'm just making you realize the impact. If you can plan your schedule based on your roles and your priorities, will be that much easier. And then you'll feel fulfilled. I'm going to ask a very hard question, and you can be vulnerable and put it in the chat if you want or not. How many of you are feeling unfulfilled when you look at your calendar? Jeff's face just shows probably everybody. I got a lot of stares, blank stares. I've got a lot of people who are like, oh my goodness. And you don't have to raise your hand because I get it. But guess what, guys? I'm just trying to give you real life, true principles that have helped other entrepreneurs and business owners like you. Okay. So if you prioritize those things because of your roles, right? Her time as a mom needed to prioritize time one-on-one. She could run any business and make millions of dollars, but if she wasn't feeling fulfilled, she hates what she does. She just bought a job. She just bought something that she hates. And aren't we trying to get out of that as business owners, right? I have Martha just smiling over there. I love that. She's saying, oh my gosh, she's talking my language. We've all been there. And I'm on the other side of it. All right. Second, let your values dictate your tasks. Let your values dictate your tasks. Here's how that's played out. We say we value our health, but if you looked at your calendar, what are you doing for your health? If you looked at your sales funnel and you said, I really want to serve people, and your sales funnel is empty, that tells you what you're doing. Okay, I just want to be as real as possible. Haley said this yesterday when she introduced me. Char is the most blunt and direct person you're going to get. And you know what? That's just how it is, guys. Because I'm not here to tell you the fluff. I'm not here to massage, your feelings. I'm just here to tell you how it is. So how do you get out of this? Well, first, pick 3 values and match up against this week's calendar and tell me if your values match up with your schedule. And if they do, awesome. If they don't, then I'm going to give you an invitation to make just one small adjustment. Don't try to do it all, ladies. Just do it for 15 minutes. If you said health's your value, then plan 15 minutes in your schedule. Yes, Susan, I love that. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you, Susan. Guess what, Susan? You're probably saying for a lot more people in this group. So thank you for sharing that. Okay. Tiff, thanks for sharing that face because I'm sure it's there. Martha, thank you for smiling because you're saying it for everyone else in the group. So if your values are there in your schedule, I'm going to applaud you. But if they're not, then change it for 15 minutes. If you're telling me your marketing matters and yet you hate doing 5 different platforms because you're like, Shark, I'm struggling with my content, I'm overwhelmed, I don't know how many more times I can say the same thing over and over and over again, then stop doing it. Pick 1 to 2 platforms that you know your customer is at because you've gotten customers and spend the time there. Remember, your values dictate your tasks. I have clients who literally tell me, Shar, I got 27 appointments from LinkedIn. I'm so stressed out. Okay, we're not going to turn off the funnel. Guess what you've got to do? You've got to figure out how to make your processes and systems improve. You see how I don't give you an out? I don't care if you don't like the fact that you got 27 appointments. Go fix your processes and systems. All right. I need ones to tell me you've gotten that aha moment and oh my gosh, you love it. Twos, you didn't learn nothing. Char, you're just off your rocker. I don't need this. I should have not attended your workshop. That's okay too, because that tells me I need to do better. That just tells me I need to give you more. I need to improve that. Okay, so I got some ones. I love that. Thank you. And twos, if I'm not giving you value, please tell me, because I want to see you, hear you. I want to let you know, Barbara, that I get you, that I want you to be served today. All right. Oh, good. Thank you. Guys, remember, I am not any better than anyone else if I'm not giving and serving you because of my own opportunities that I've had in life. Okay. Here's something. If you love to speak, my speakers in the room, I know you're there. My coaches, my consultants, I know you're there. You're hugging your pen. You're hugging your laptops, right? Let me tell you, if you want to be a speaker and paid to speak, you want to be a speaker invited to speak, the value that drives that is what needs to drive your tasks. If you want to make connections with people, then make appointments with people. If you want to network with people because you believe that's a way for you to get into opportunities, then schedule that task. Your values is what schedules those tasks. So if you're like, yeah, sure, I want to be a speaker, I always ask my clients, so how much time did you spend perfecting your speech? How much times have you gotten on there to do it for free? If you tell me you have nothing on your calendar, then it's not a value. It's not true. That's what I'm trying to say, guys. It's not true. Okay. You guys ready for two more before I get kicked off stage? Because I know Haley's got a full lineup and I want to keep her on time today, as I always say when I speak. Two more things. We call it project stacking. So I have a team of 17 across the country and the world. We've got clients in every vertical, every market. We've got clients who are coaches and consultants to clients that are 50 employees and at $50 million of revenue. So we've got all kinds of clients, all kinds of situations. Project stacking. My way of doing business is 1 to 100. Okay. Project stacking allows me to do that. So for example, we create a speaker page, one speaker, one page bio. We use that for our clients who want to use speaking as a way to be visible and do their marketing. We do a one strategy to impact 100 opportunities. Because guess what? I'm not trying to write that one pager every single day, every single time and change it in and out. How many of you guys get so creative that you never get anything done? You're the forever creator. You're the forever I'm going to get it done, but it never gets done, right? Yes, pick one thing. But guys, guess what, guys? There's a lot of one things. So if you do a 1 to 100, we call it project stacking. We do that and we use it so that we can get in front of 100 people. Okay. When we do LinkedIn, for example, as a strategy, if you guys were there yesterday, you heard my LinkedIn best practices for business and sales. When you take a photo, example, a headshot, you want a light and a dark, because it doesn't matter what graphics going to get made when you're presenting or you're doing your business cards or you're networking, because you already have it done. You don't want to have to go back and get a headshot. You want to have it done all at the same time, so it equals 100 ways of using it. So 1 to 100. If you're thinking that way, you will work more efficiently. Even though you have to get things done, you're working more efficiently. Okay. Another strategy for the 1 to 100, and this is very typical. A lot of us, because you're the only person in your business, you're trying to do all the sales and all the marketing. So what happens is we try to tell our solo entrepreneurs, all right, do your SOP side by side. So if you're answering emails, if you're doing sales calls, write down all those steps, because what happens is when you're ready to replace yourself with a VA, you actually already have your SOPs ready. You see how you can do one task that equals 100 effort. So you're not redoing it over and over and over again. So how many of you are going to start doing project stacking? Put one in the chat, or two, you're like, sure, I already do that. I'm a pro, I don't need it. Oh, Tracy, awesome. I love that. Yes. Oh, yes. I love that, Joe. Yoo-hoo. Guys, I'm telling you, I can do 10 things at once. And everyone's like, how do you do that? Project stacking. This is like one of my secret sauces that we coach clients, that we build our teams on, and that we can have multiple clients with multiple industries that we serve. All right, second thing, Haley, I promise you're going to get out on time. I will never, ever make you late because I just want to make sure everyone gets value. When you're looking at your business, you know, you've heard this cliche, you know, you're the one person who can do the one thing. So focus on that. But guess what? When you're by yourself and you're doing it all, you have to realize that there's things that you probably can't do really well and that it's fragmented. Use technology in your favor. So one of our clients, she's a CPA. We actually did all of her onboarding videos, her sales videos for her. And so now she just sends out her videos on an email automated sequence. And so she doesn't have to do her onboard anymore, which took her 5 hours of onboarding in total. And she's still by herself. She's still a solo entrepreneur, but now she has saved herself time. So look and see what in your business you can automate. Is it the, well, sure, I really need to touch them. No, you don't. You're saying the stinking same thing. Don't stress yourself out by having to do it all. There's control issues underlining that. So don't worry about it. Let yourself go of all that control. Okay, so use video for onboarding. Record yourself on Zoom. Don't worry, and this is terrible. For all of my perfectionists on this call today, I want to tell you one thing. Zoom works. Record yourself and be done. Stop trying to get all the fancy equipment and stop trying to learn about Loom and all these. Who cares? You probably have everything you need right off your phone. I know this is hurting some people's feelings, but you'll be okay. Okay? Just get over it. Get your phone out and freaking just do a video, guys. How many of you need to use video and technology to automate some of these processes right now? If you have a 1 in the chat, I'm going to give you a high five and just let you know you are on the right path. Number 2, you're already perfect and automated, and there's nothing you could do to improve your business. Totally fine. I just want to make sure I'm serving you. I want to make sure you know that I'm here. Awesome, Tiff. Great. Love it. Yep, Haley, awesome. And you know, the problem is we just feel like we have to do it all because we're so compelled because we feel guilty. I want to tell you, guess what? You're probably saying the same thing in your onboarding. You're probably saying the same thing in your why I need you to talk to me and get your sales calls done. Just automate it. If they don't like you from a video of 30 seconds, guess what? They're not going to like you when they get on the phone with you. That's just how it is. Okay. All right. Okay. Next thing in this project stacking, you know, abbreviation with technology. So, and of course, writing your SOPs. My team loves this. We do what we call prioritizing with a purpose. So for example, if there's a collaboration, so like one of our team members, if we need to do a LinkedIn strategy to get this client appointments, we have in that strategy probably 5 to 6 people at a time working on it. Okay. Prioritizing with a purpose, like what is the goal? What is the goal of that result, right? Prioritizing with a purpose is, I don't want to do 10, 15 emails. So use a Calendly link if you want to meet up with a team member. That's how you prioritize, right? Because when you do 15 emails back and forth, you guys probably spend 30 minutes to an hour. Get a Calendly link. They can book their time. If they need to talk to you, they can schedule it then. Sometimes we need to stop the chaos of multiple texts, different things in different locations. That's another waste of time, especially for my number ones and even my number twos. Like your team is wasting time if you're the only person that's making those decisions. Okay, set the expectation of what you want and let them figure it out. If you need to control every single step of the way, like I want them to fold it this way, Shar, then tell them, write it in the SOP, because it's not going to happen magically. Okay, people will quit the CEO before they quit their business or their job or their opportunities, because the CEO is what who sets the pace. Okay, another example, and this is, I'm going to wrap it up here. Another example, when we're working with multiple team members, we have different time zones. We have multiple clients in different time zones as well. We have projects and different deadlines. I always like to do a day before it's due as a due date. Because everything happens, right? Like Barbara, right? How many things come up? Everybody comes up. Everything happens. And I'm like, your stress is not my priority. But it happens. So you help and you adjust. So I always tell my team, set a day before the task is due. So in case there's anything that you need collaborations on, yep, it saves a lot of headache. But more importantly, like for me, I'll tell you what I do. When my clients come to me and I have to give them a proposal, because everything is so customized, I give myself 24 hours before I give it to them. Because there might be something I thought about, there's something I want to do, maybe there's something I need to remove from it. So I give myself that time. Because a lot of times, guess what, guys? It's those small adjustments that you make to your sales, marketing, planning strategies that will give you more time to do the things you want. I'll tell you a big win for us, and then I'll give you my offer today. So 2 weeks ago, we were in Orlando before the big hurricane, and I'm so sorry for so many people struggling. I actually lived and worked for Disney, and so the Orlando area is very close to my heart. I literally flew in all of my family members into Orlando, and we took them to Disney World. Paid for their hotel, paid for their travel, paid for their food, paid for all of their incidentals. And I got to spend the day at Disney World with my family, my parents, my brothers, my nephews. And guys, guess what? I didn't think about my business while I was there because I had done all the things so that I could enjoy that vision board accomplishment that I could pay every year for a big trip for our families to get together. So that's possible. The problem is you're the only thing in the way of it. All right, so here's my offer as I wrap up. Every Monday, we get together and we do what we call Accountability Monday. Here's what it's not. It's not a mastermind. It's not for us to have a conversation and talk story over and over and over. It's not a time for us to give hugs. It's a time for us to say, what have you done? Because accountability is far more important than just talking about the things you're going to do. It's about saying, did you do it? Why didn't you do it? What are the barriers? And so my offer for the month of October, for anyone that's here at the WEN Summit, you can go ahead and email me. Haley, will you put my email in the chat, please? And if you would like to get invited to 30-minute Accountability Mondays with me and some of my coaches, some of our clients, some of our team members, we literally dive in to what you need to be held accountable for. Literally, we've had people go, oh my gosh, Art, I just need to focus on this one thing. I said, yep, stop focusing on all the fluff and just start focusing on the thing that's going to shift your business. Remember, you're not going to get there in big leaps and bounds. It's the small adjustments that you make. Like today, in the chat, guys, how many of you are going to take one thing that I said and actually do it today in your business? Put that in the chat so that I know that I'm walking off the stage and that, Haley, I've given value to the team of all these amazing people here. Go ahead and email me because Accountability Mondays matter to me more than masterminding everything, because that's not what's going to get us there. It's about keeping you accountable so that you actually do it. And guys, I'm not here to take the fire away from what you're doing as entrepreneurs and business owners. I'm just trying to give you more of what you really want, which is freedom. So thank you, Haley, for letting me be on stage today. I can't wait till tomorrow to be there and share again. Thank you guys, all my number ones. I'll see you on my accountability call next week so I can hear what you did. Thanks, Haley.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you being here. Awesome tips. You know, it's interesting that what you focus on is what flows. And if that's how you're scheduling your time, it really reflects your values. And one of the things I've said is that it's really interesting. You will always find time to do the things that are the most important to you. Whatever they are, whatever is truly most important to you is what you will find time for.
Yes. Yes.
It's amazing how that happens.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Haley, for doing
everybody.
that. I appreciate everyone on here. And please let me know if I can help you and invite you to my Accountability Mondays. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Hey, thank you.